Film being a visual medium, it really sucks at doing visuals. I don't know about you, but most people I know come to a movie theater like this only to see like the Marvel movie that comes out every couple months. And that's about it. Movies that do come out tend to visually fall flat. Flat, boring colors, basic cinematography, and like the basic cuts between them. I was working on what kind of movies I tend to enjoy and like what aspects are strong about them. And I figured out that they all have 3 strong aspects. Those 3 subjects being color, how you dress your subject, framing, how you present that subject to the audience, and transitions, how you work those subjects in with each other. You fell. Color can be amazing. Most films that I see that are able to properly leverage this are animation, but they're not limited to it. And doing this can be done through the observation. There's a car again. A core rule to getting a visually impressive color can be seen through the observation of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Dean Gordon describes that he generally wanted to break down colors into distinct shapes and work away from soft transitions. Doing that is able to make your colors more distinct and memorable. They're able to stand alone without that unnecessary filler space.
Let me give you the scoop, kid. Also, having harder transitions between colors makes things way more readable and clear to the audience. Make sure there are less gradients and everything is rigid and distinct. And with that distinction comes clarity to the audience.
Despite the placement and treatment of colors, the actual choice of colors is actually pretty important. I know, right? That's crazy. But a problem I often see in films is that they only are using colors that are There's a car. They're only using colors that are realistic. A strong advocate for such would be Hirohiko Araki. He's been a Shonen Jump showrunner for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and his work has been drastically influenced by post-impressionistic artist Paul Gauguin. Just the idea that the ground could be pink and that the trees could be blue. Like the idea that things don't need to be what they look like, they can just be how they feel. Instead of being able to fully max out their capability of what a shot can look like. Framing is the means of getting information to the audience. You can get information across just through where places, like if there's a thing over here, there's a thing over here. The placement of things matters. You're able to informationally guide the viewer on where to watch, what to make conclusions from just based on where they are in the frame. You're able to get character motives, location, plot twists, everything. You're able to stage all of this with framing. But at the end of the day, all film school is teaching you is how to do the status quo. But never really beyond that. For such example, one can look at Lily and Lana Wachowski, the directors of The Matrix and Speed Racer. Very visually stunning film. And what they worked for with that film is that they were able to break the confines of what is possible in a shot. For example, they're able to show the back of someone's head and the side angle of their head to just be able to get information more across. The same person, same shot, cut it together, it's awesome. Informationally, if they want to show something, they can. Similar to the previous section, it's all about information. Information is king. When I was doing research on this, I was just scrolling on my TikTok For You page, and this little TikTok came up.
Which is why I love Brad Bird's work so much. Because instead, he'll clearly deliver information like this. This rat in the foreground plane is wondering how to cook something, and the camera reveals the answer to us in the background plane.
With that TikTok, with the wonderful work done by them, we're able to look further into Brad Bird. Brad Bird is the director of The Incredibles, The Iron Giant. Like, dude, he's everything, man. He's able to do different depths of field that something can be in the foreground and the midground at the same time, and while shifting between the two, he adds new information, one subject to the next. New information for the audience to digest simply by a plane shift. These more dynamic shots are able to get more information across. There's a seagull right above me, holy cow. These more dynamic shots are able to get more information across and are able to guide the audience to a conclusion that the filmmakers want to get across, that they want the audience to get to. Finally, we're on our final subject of transitions. There have been great works that describe transitions. I'm not the first kid on the block for this one, but they're still neglected, so let's be honest. With Scott Pilgrim, Make Your Transitions Count. With Scott Pilgrim, Make Your Transitions Count, he goes into...
He discusses how to use the rules of cinema against you, taking the typical conventions and tipping them on their head.
Two characters mid 180-degree rule of hello, how are you doing? I'm doing well, thank you. They can change transition, they can change locations in that. And so you're thinking, oh, I'm in a record store. No, they're not in a record store anymore, you idiot. We're walking outside in a park. What are you doing? With that subversion of an expectation, the audience is so much more intrigued.
And because what's happening isn't possible, you're encouraged to sort of put the film together, and interactivity.
You're way more observant, you notice little things in the background, transitions that are just way more interesting, and are able to make the flow of it and make the audience way more intrigued and observant. A less talked about subject is the Kuleshov effect. It's the idea that with juxtaposition of two different shots, you're able to get a different meaning from one of the shots. Example, a man looking at soup, a man, and then a man's face, cut to soup, the man looks hungry. A man's face, cut to a dead child, he's mourning. And so with the Kuleshov effect, the juxtaposition of two different things can change your idea of one of the subjects. You can assume crazy things. You can make connections between characters that they're brother and sister. You can, by cutting between them, that juxtaposition is able to make a connection between two very different subjects based on just their placement together. Visuals, when they're utilized properly, can be amazing. To maximize the potential of visuals, you can have some of those beautiful films you ever seen. Make films that are art, not that look like films. That's all I gotta say. All right, bye-bye. Expressions are good.